Ron DeSantis is writing the blueprint, I think you could argue, to save the world at this point. He had a whole bunch of experts and doctors, as I mentioned, on the panel, was throwing to everybody live, doing follow-up questions without looking at notes. It was really just a great example. I wish you guys could have seen the behind-the-scenes portion of it to really see how on the ball this guy is. One of the experts that he had up there was ER Dr. Joseph Fraiman, and he was talking about how he spent most of his portion talking about how there are serious adverse effects with these vaccines at much, much higher rates than other vaccines in the past. Take a listen.
Scientists advisory board votes against it. CDC goes, let's not listen to these guys. Just recommends it for all age groups. The safe and effective terminology that's been used has been based on, it's uncertainty. This is based on, it's a lie. Myself, along with 6 other scientists, our international team, we basically went back to the original clinical trials, looking at serious adverse events. They're defined by both Pfizer and Moderna and assigned by them. We're looking at that. We went in to reanalyze it, take a magnifying glass, look closer, because they originally reported that there was no harm. There was no serious harm from these vaccines. And so we basically were using a list that was a WHO-endorsed list of adverse events that they thought were potentially going to be caused by the vaccine before we ever even authorized it. To our surprise, in the Pfizer trial, the first vaccine to go through, there was a 37% increase in the number of serious adverse events. That was never reported, not by the FDA, not by Pfizer. It turns out with both Pfizer and Moderna, we had a 1 in 800 risk of serious adverse events. These are from that list. So now, to understand what a 1 in 800 means, consider that our other vaccines have about a 1 in a million. 1 in a million, maybe 2 in a million. This is not the same sort of safe. Safe and effective doesn't change. It's not even a scientific wording, safe. It's not safe and effective. It's more of a campaign, like a campaign slogan, or not even. It's a advertisement.
And that 1 in 800 number, that's for short-term risks.
Okay, so the guy you heard speaking at the end, talking about the short-term risk, that's Brett Weinstein, who's been on the show many times. We've sort of lost touch over the last couple of years, but I reconnected with him. I'd love to get him back on. He's going to be on this. He doesn't even live in the state of Florida. Either does Dr. Fraiman, and either does Dr. Bhattacharya, who we're going to talk about in just a sec. But they're all going to be part of this panel, which is absolutely spectacular. The key part of what he said there was not only, I get you guys all understand the sort of dismissals, the CDC just ignoring a lot of the science, but the numbers, this 1 in 800, so meaning that when they were testing the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, the mRNA vaccines, they found out that serious vaccine injury, and further, we didn't play all of it, but he talked about what serious means. I mean, it's real stuff. It's not just like my fingers tingled for a day. It's like real stuff related to your heart, your brain, et cetera, your nervous system. 1 in 800 people were getting that sort of reaction. Now you may go, okay, well, 1 in 800, that doesn't sound like that much. But as he said, in normal vaccines, the vaccines that we've all been taking forever, the polio vaccine, I think he mentioned specifically, it's 1 in a million. Do you see the difference between 1 in 800 and 1 in a million? And Fauci's out there every day saying it's safe and effective, which, as Dr. Fraiman points out, safe and effective is not even a medical term.